Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Favorites to the Top. I'm your host, Leafeon here, and today, if it wasn't obvious already by the thumbnail, our favorite today is CHIEN-PAO. This is actually an amazing rental team I got off the forums, and the team ID is right there, and the paste will be in the description if I have time to find it. If not, then the rental code is here. This has some of my favorite Pokemons of this entire gen as well. It has Ogerpon and Iron Tread, some of my favorite Pokemon to use in OU. Ogerpon, Hearthflame obviously not, but Ogerpon is an Ogerpon at the end of the day. We also have a Miraidon, point saying, like, it is just really strong. CHIEN-PAO, obviously the GOAT, with Icicle Crash and Sheer Cold. I was looking at it and I was wondering to even use this team, but Sheer Cold, I haven't really used it. But it is pretty interesting. The next Pokemon on the team is Urshifu. Honestly, I think Urshifu has a really good niche, and it pairs really well with the Pokemon I have right now, especially Miraidon. Urshifu takes care of all the checks that Miraidon doesn't like, and Miraidon takes care of all the checks that Urshifu brings. I have a Grimmsnarl, just tricking, like some faster Pokemon. I've tricked some stuff coming up on the ladder. Ogerpon and Iron Treads is just there to take advantage of our electric terrain. So before the video starts, I'd like to ask you to please hit that like button, please hit subscribe, and maybe comment what you'd like to see in the most. This is actually taken off of the Discord, so just proving that I do listen to the Discord DMs. And also in the fact that if you guys have enjoyed it, hey, any support helps, man. Also, before the video starts, you'll notice that I'm actually not where we left off last episode, where we were fighting to get out of the Great Ball League. We're actually in the Great Ball League still, but we're just above. We're going to see if we can do some promotion during today's video, and that's about it. So once again, we are fighting to promote into the Ultra Ball League, and maybe even a little bit before that. So, and also this will be a different type of video. It's more of a voiceover video, because a lot of my stuff while I was actually doing it was really bad. I don't know what it was, if it was my microphone, but I've got a new microphone, if you can tell already. And we're going to see how well this does. So if you guys, once again, if you guys did like, please subscribe. Please do anything. Anything helps. Even if you view, it helps me a lot, actually. So I really thank everything here. I really thank you guys for doing this, for watching my video, for watching me fuck around. And yeah, let's get into the video, shall we? And keep on the content for some, keep your eye out for some more content coming over. It's going to be a busy week with some busy stuff. So once again, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into the battles. Alright, and we are back, as you can see, Great Ball rank 9. We're using this team right here. I used to have a Terrapico's team. That team didn't really go too well. But yeah, we're going to be using this team here. It's actually pretty interesting. I really like it because it's more of an offensive-based like team. It relies heavily on the offensive capabilities of the Pokemon. And I would like to say that I am an offensive type of player. I don't really like using slower teams. Not that I can't use them, but I just prefer, it's more fun for me. I enjoy the battle a lot more. So looking into this matchup, it was pretty interesting, right? Because I did see Koraidon, I did see Miraidon, or I did see Koraidon, I saw the Dragapult. I was kind of worried about the Hisuian guy. I wasn't really sure who else to bring here. And yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of just knew that I wanted to bring CHIEN-PAO first, and then I wanted to go into whatever I had later. CHIEN-PAO was such a great, actually, going into this team. And we're going to see what we do here. So he leads with the Hoodra. Now, at this point, I have no idea if it's Zoroark or not, but I think my Guja, oh, yeah. And that happened. So, there we go. There we go. So that was a pretty easy first game, huh? That was a pretty easy first game. But then, yeah. He just DC'd. Accidents happen. It happens. But yeah, we're just going to go find the next game here. We're going to be searching for the next game. Yeah. I mean, it was a good win. It was a good win. So, I'd like to say I deserved it. But yeah, as you can see, my win and loss, I've been testing some teams. I didn't really like most of the teams I made, so I kind of scrapped them and just say, hey, screw it. It has my favorite. It's supposed to be good. And we actually get a next battle pretty quickly. We actually get into the next battle pretty quickly here. And as you can see on this team, it's actually very interesting, right? He has Calyrex Shadow, which is obviously very scary. He has Incineroar, so that guy's also pretty scary. It's a good Pokemon, but obviously who just shuts everything down. Landorus Therian, sorry, was also a very scary Pokemon that I didn't really want to deal with. But, yeah. I just had my game plan. We're going to lead, sort of, get some more CHIEN-PAO content. And then we're going to lead Ogerpon in the back. Because this team actually does not like getting Ogerpon with the Dark move to get rid of, like, Incineroar and those guys. And yeah, we just see how else we do. And I'm pretty sure nothing else really happens. So we're going to skip it forward a little bit until when he actually comes. And he actually battles. So let's fast forward a little bit here. Yeah, so this guy goes to the timer, so I'm not even sure if he brought what he wanted to bring. But as you see later on, he actually did choose Pokemon, and it was just down to the wire. His profile card is very cute. I love Glaceon. It's definitely in my top, definitely top 3 EVs. But in any case, he leaves off Landorus, and then I lead CHIEN-PAO. So it's obviously not a good lead matchup because his Intimidate kind of cancels out all of my like attacking possibilities. So I actually expected him to switch out. I definitely expected him to switch out. And looking at my Pokemon, I don't really have anything for this mon. So, but my Icicle Crush is super obvious, right? My Icicle Crush, it will kill him. I was debating on Terroring his Pokemon. Yeah, I was definitely debating on this, but if you look at his Pokemon, I would expect him to go maybe into his Fire-type Incineroar, or maybe even double into a Pokemon like Corviknight. So my main play here, I didn't expect him to do what he does next, which was to actually go for the Terra Steel. I was just covering all the options. It looks like a hard predict. It really isn't. I was just covering all the options, and I Sacred Sword into the Terra Steel. And as you can see in a second, it does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It does about like 30%, but of course, since my a -1, thankfully he doesn't U-turn, which he does actually have, as I later find out. But yeah, he just U-turns, or he just Stealth Rocks, and my options are now, because it's now obvious that he's going to attack. So I actually, what do? Yeah, it's pretty obvious he's going to just attack me or U-turn. Either one of them, I was fine with letting my Grimmsnarl get the chip, because Grimmsnarl in this game really isn't that bad. It really was just for in case Calyrex Shadow comes in the back. I have a Prankster trick that can definitely work, and then we see what happens after. But like we go on after that, and then we see what happens. He does end up making a switch as well into his Clodsire, and then I'm like, okay, this was not really good for me. I don't really know what you're going to do to me, but if I know you, you're going to be pretty weak. So I look at Foul Play initially. I was also thinking about thinking on a double. My Terra is Ghost, not going to help me in this at all. So I was maybe even Terra Steel might have been better. I'm not even really sure what it's for because I don't want to be weak to Calyrex Shadow. But I decide that whatever happens, CHIEN-PAO instantly comes in and instantly gets to get more damage on whatever comes out. So I do go into the CHIEN-PAO now. And yeah, he just decides to Toxic, which is pretty fair, right? I mean, that was pretty fair. It's pretty fat. Grimmsnarl is pretty fat. You want to get that lowered for the rest of your guys. I understand. It makes sense completely. But now I have all the offenses in my favor, right? I am deciding whether to Sacred Sword, but I was thinking whether to. He does have Protect, so the Icicle Crash is really obvious because I used it. But now the Landorus switch is even more obvious, right? And looking back on this, I don't know why I just didn't go Ogerpon. Ogerpon Fire is just the best play. But like on the off chance he doesn't stay in, I go for it anyways. And as you can see, he does actually stay in. Now, I was not expecting this to kill. I was not expecting this to KO at all. Like, I didn't think I had a chance. But it actually does. CHIEN-PAO is a menace, showing why it's my favorite. I fucking love this Pokemon. His design is absolutely amazing. And yeah, we're going to see how far we can go here. with this Pokemon. So now CHIEN-PAO'S out, right? Now, his obvious play is to go back into Landorus, and I don't know what else he has. At this point, I don't really know what else he has. So I'm thinking, like, maybe the best play is to actually switch out. I'm really not sure, because I don't know. Whatever he could have that Cali Ice, I don't actually only have Sucker Punch for it. But and if it's Calm Mind, if it was Terra, it's not Terra. If it's Sash, I don't have any hazards up. Hazards are looking pretty bad for me. He does just go straight back into Landorus though, which I think works well for me because now I save this as a sack always, and I could get Grimmsnarl back out. Even if he U-turns, he reveals his last Pokemon. If he doesn't U-turn and he just hits me, I eat up the attack, and I get to make sure this thing's slower than me with my Ogerpon, because I'm actually not really sure on my Ogerpon's EVs, I'm not sure if I'm faster. I should be faster, but this was the better play, I think. Save a sack always. You never know what's going to happen, and you need to conserve. So he does go for the U-turn right here, and he actually reveals that his last Pokemon is it's Corviknight. Yeah, there's the Corviknight coming out, which is pretty interesting considering that I could have just maybe gotten damage on this, but it's okay. It's okay. I decided to trick. I don't know what this thing is going to be, but it's probably just U-turning, and we might as well take its leftovers, Rocky Helmet, whatever that it has, which was mostly why I did this one. He gets the Lagging Tail, obviously, and I get the Citrus. So once he attacks me, I actually heal up. After this, yep, there's the heal, and back into Landorus. And by this point, it's just game over. I just have to try to position myself in a way that Ogerpon Ogerpon Fire, can come in safely. And yeah, this is pretty much over. And yeah, Landorus comes back out. And at this point, there's nothing he can do to fend off my Ogerpon Fire, because now we know everything on his team. I just decided to foul play. Like, at this point, I can sack everything on my team and I can still win. And yeah, I decided to get some chip on this. That actually did a lot. But I died to Rocky Helmet, which is perfect because now my Ogerpon Fire gets to come in. And at this point, it doesn't matter. Everything he has does not matter. And I think Ogerpon Fire can also just come in here. Now that he's also exhausted his Terra, CTC, never exhaust first, comes into play here. And Terra Fire can clean up. So, all in all, I love Ogerpon Fire as a threat. It gets +1, so on against like slower teams, it's actually very nice to have. And because of the defensive Pokemon, well, not really defensive, but the supporting Pokemon, in the back, it actually becomes really nice. Because Ogerpon Fire does not like stuff like Calyrex, but my favorite off the top, CHIEN-PAO can. It's actually a really interesting Pokemon concept. So we do get the +1 attack, and yeah, all the Ogerpons look amazing, honestly, when Terra'd. It may be a bit of a spoiler for upcoming content, but nobody watches this far anyway, so if you do watch this far, I'll let you in on a secret. I was really debating on whether to choose an Ogerpon that could Terra or another Pokemon, which I did end up Terraing. So I didn't, as a Terra captain in draft, I would have loved an Ogerpon, but anyways, it looks amazing in draft, but we do finish it off here with a bonk. Yeah, that thing gets cooked. So, unfortunately for my opponent, it does die, and it goes down. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty safe game. All in all. Yeah, not much to be said there. He instantly lost to Ogerpon Fire once he Terra'd especially. He just lost. So, yeah. We do end up with a win, and if I'm not mistaken, it might take just a little bit more to... Yeah, it takes a little bit more to rank up. So we do actually end up getting to Great Ball 9 with only one match to promotion. Let's see if we can do it. And we'll cut back once we actually find a trainer. Oh, well, there we go. Okay. So, here we go. His team is very scary. I knew I wanted Urshifu in this game just because there's always a Tinglu. If there's a Tinglu, I bring Urshifu. My Urshifu is amazing into this team composition. It deals well with everything. I was slightly worried about a Meowscarada lead. And I'm just double checking what my moves are. I am Specs, but I am modest, most importantly. I am modest on this guy. So that's important to know because some damage calculations might not go my way, as you'll see later on in the battle. So here we go. I lead Grimmsnarl because if it is just... I make some pretty dumb mistakes. It's been a while, right? It's been a while. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. If you can predict it, what I do wrong, it has to do with being Dark type, and it has to do with this guy. Okay. So here we go. And I actually decide, hey, why not just... First of all, I try to look, nothing switches into this thing. Why not just trick this thing? Because I forgot that dark types are immune to Prankster. And this kind of happens twice. He does go for the T-Spike. One. This is actually a really entertaining game. My heart was beating when I was playing this game. And I was like, okay. What do I go here? Okay, yeah, he switches out. I go for trick again. He doesn't know that I'm not choice banded, which he doesn't know that I'm not like attack, which like he might think I'm choice, right? He might think I'm trying to trick him by choice specs or something. But I go for trick again, and he has to reveal one of his other Pokemon, which is the Tinglu. I decide to immediately, what do? Oh yeah, okay. I just decide to chip it immediately with Spear Break, and he realizes something else comes out. He might have thought I would have went for it again, and that's the Masquerada coming back in. And I absolutely punch this thing in the face. I punch this thing in the face. Bop. And it does over 90%. His special attack doesn't really matter. He probably gets his second layer of spikes up. But at this point, nothing really matters. Because something is going to be hit by one of my moves, right? And this being gone, by the way, is amazing for my Urshifu in the back. This being gone makes my Urshifu in the back amazing. So he does actually go into the poison type with this Protean, which is pretty scary to say the least. This mon is a threat. But our foul play makes sure that nothing else could have switched in. I don't know what else he really had, but it probably would have done a little bit more. But in any case, Meowscarada is gone. Meowscarada is one of the only things that can actually stop from my Urshifu Rapid Strike from coming in and just eating stuff. And beating stuff. So this thing comes out. Now, I'm not really sure what this thing does. I'm just going to Spear Break it for Chip. He Heavy Slams. It doesn't kill me. It does a lot. It doesn't kill me, though. And Spear Break does come out and connect. So he's -1 special attack. Doesn't really help us, but... yeah. I decided just to go into Urshifu. Urshifu is just the best Pokemon to bring into this thing. EQ, Rumination. It doesn't matter because now he's forced to reveal some more Pokemon. I didn't really want him to protect in this. So I decided to, because it could be Protect, right? If it's like Toxic Spike Stall, it definitely could be. Heavy Slam is not going to be doing anything to us. Like, it definitely could be Stall. It definitely could be Stall. It definitely could be something scary like that. So what do? We decide to, and if he stays in, it's not good for him. Surgeon Choice is just my strongest because if he does switch out into maybe his Kyogre, which we actually find out that it is very bulky Kyogre. It's not like a Scarf set. We do see that Kyogre takes a bunch. And because of his own rain, yeah, this always crits. So there's nothing to really worry about that. Yep. 2 and 3 come out on to the Kyogre. So that did about 30%. It does about 10. Which tells me that he's most likely just offensive. But he's probably not Scarf. As we see that he is actually leftover. So he's probably a lot more Spadef than I realized, especially what set it actually ends up being. I don't really like anything this thing could go for, which is why we keep a sack in the first place. So I think I'm deciding whether I actually need to sack or if I could go straight Miraidon. But I have the sack for a reason, right? I have the sack for a reason. Why not just go for it? Yep, any second now. Yep, there we go. I have the sack for a reason. This is why we keep sacks. It's always good. Like, if I don't sack, I'm forced to take damage there onto my Miraidon. It could be Ice Beam. He could Ice Beam Raw. That's probably not a good play, but yeah. In any case, we do see that he has actually Surf, telling me that he's probably not Origin Pulse. He would probably be Ice Beam, Thunder, if it's Scarf, or if it was, like, Attack. And we actually see his leftovers, which we did know. But now this just means my Miraidon gets to come in for free. Now my Miraidon gets to come in for free, right? Now, obvious is obvious. What do I do in this position after I send a Miraidon? Best believe I am not staying in. I don't know who you think I am. I'm not staying in. Okay, this thing is very, very scary. This thing is very, very scary. Which I actually find out that... No, sorry. My mid-ground here is actually just to Terra Fairy and see what happens. Now, I don't really know what his Pokemon... what he could have. I don't know what he could have as his moveset. But I'm actually pretty interested to see that it is Protect. So, Protect is interesting in the fact that Protect will just completely let him to scout what he was going for, which is a pretty safe play. Honestly, it's a good play. Maybe I was a bit too hasty with my Terra, then I give him more information. But yeah, okay, so we do get poison chipped, which is kind of whatever. I'm not ending this. I'm gonna end this game, or I'm gonna try to end this game before. Obviously, we're still Specs, and this is probably the worst play of the game by him. Well, I mean, I suppose he doesn't know that I could be Specs, but yeah, the worst play of the game was actually him going into Tinglu, because as you see, that chip that I used Grimmsnarl for was actually, this comes into play. So my Dazzling Gleam does too much. As you can see, it does too much. It might have 2KO'd either way, but it does too much. It does too much, and I don't know what to do. Now, this was, in hindsight, this was a bad play. I don't know why I switch out again. Maybe it's to protect against some stuff, but like to protect against like that potential chip from poison. I don't know why I did that. Heavy Slam once again does nothing. But now I've gone for Surging Strikes this time. But I'm not, because, so you might think I do it again. So you probably just sacks this, right? This is my think. He's probably just going to sack this at this point. And nothing's going to really come out of it, right? So I do Drain Punch. We do get like the tiniest slivers of HP back, but it gets completely nuked by our poison damage. So yeah. Okay, yada yada yada. He brings in his Kyogre, because it's the only one he has left. This is an interesting Pokemon, right? I know he has Protect, but at this point, I think I've sealed the game. As long as I can get enough chip onto this thing, I win the game. I don't want him to Protect. I don't want him to do anything silly. So I just get my chip with my... I just get chip, right? I just get chip. I don't really know what he's going to do, but I'm just going to chip. So now he reveals one of his other moves, which is Calm Mind. So now I'm wondering, okay, I might have screwed up because he hasn't revealed his Terra yet. Which is the big thing, which is a big question mark in this game. What was his Terra? If it was Terra Water, then I could see why he made that play. Because... if it was Terra Steel, I could have seen him making that play. So maybe it's why he does this and... Yeah, so I'm just going to Drain Punch. I'm going to say, hey, you can't set up on me. That does too much damage. You can't set up on me, and if you do, you are going to just die. So... He does actually just KO me with Surf here, but now begins the mind games. My Miraidon is very scary, but it also is Choice Specs, meaning if he protects and he has the correct Terra, he can just win the game. Because at this point, I'm a little bit worried that after his second round of recovery, I can't kill it if it's Terra Steel, Terra Poison. Because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know what my move is. My move could be either to Electro Drift, Draco, or to Dazzling Gleam. I don't know what I'm doing. This is pretty scary because I know what percentage he's at, but I am pretty worried on what I should be doing. I'm thinking about Dracoing. Dracoing can miss, which is why I end up not going for that. And also because if it is Terra Steel, I might as well just Dazzling Gleam without like lowering my stats. Obviously, the first turn is kind of whatever because he's always protecting here, right? I think his best play and what he does eventually is always to protect. I only have 9 seconds to decide, and it goes down pretty. I don't know whether to Electroject. This is confusing. Okay, if it was Terra like ground, it could have been because Miraidon are everywhere, so why not, right? I mean, but I suppose you brought your Tinglu for that. I Dazzling Gleam. And now is the question. Does he have Terra Steel? Because after the second round, I'm pretty sure I don't kill him. Like, that is a lot of HP, and Kyogre's no slouch, and it's +1, right? So it all comes down to this turn. Does he have the correct move? Terra. And as you can see, I do go first. This is Modest. This is Choice Specs. This is Terra Blast Fairy. It gets cooked. So that could have gone either way, honestly. If it was a right Terra, if it's Terra Poison, if it's Terra Ground, I would have had a problem. But Miraidon showcases why Miraidon is such a problem in this tier. And it's amazing. Like, Miraidon is actually amazing. It deserves its AG status in Smogon. It's just amazing. With the existence of Terra, it's so nice. Okay. So, yeah. That was the game. I think it was a good game. It was a good game. That was a scary game for sure. But I'm pretty sure that it does bring me to the Ultra Ball lead. So our promotion does go through. And we are promoted. We have been promoted. We get one more battle because I felt like at this point we might as well just see if it wasn't a fluke, sorry. Yeah, that was a tough battle. If he had the correct Terra, I could have lost that easily. I definitely could have lost. I probably would have 2-KO'd anyways, but after a second round of recovery, after I attacked him, that's 12%. Like, that 12% could go a long way. But this team is actually really nice. I like this team. This team I think it fits my playstyle perfectly. So into the next battle we do go. And we see this guy has an Electivire. Probably because he's lost to Miraidon and never wants to do that again. He just brings his Evire. What happens in this battle? No, I don't. Okay. I was just wondering because this team is very familiar. And I was just wondering if I actually had this, but it's not in my team builder. So I actually checked this to receive the information that I'm choice banded, which is what moves do I have if I'm choice banded? I'm not going to be bringing you, especially not as a lead, anyways. And looking at his team, his lead could definitely just be the CHIEN-PAO, in which Ogerpon has a pretty solid like matchup into that. It also could have been Urshifu, either of which my Ogerpon eats very nicely. So as we see in a second here, it's got a really cool avatar as well. Like his player model looks amazing. Okay, so here we go, and he does lead CHIEN-PAO. So I'm looking at this. Hey, it's not a bad lead on my end, and we definitely are going to be taking this thing down. Even if it's Sash, I was wondering, like, I'm just going to Ivy Cudgel. Like, there's literally no reason for me not to Ivy Cudgel here. You can't do much because Ice Spinner is actually only neutral against me, and we see it barely does. It doesn't even do half. Ivy Cudgel is going to come out and bring him down to a Sash. And he probably just Ice Spinners again. So it is Sash here. I didn't know that. I'm looking at my Pokemon. I can't safely bring out anybody. I would have loved to get my guy up, but Terran is still up. I just Ivy Cudgel. My hand pretty safe. He does Sucker Punch, which I don't actually know why he does. Because I'm pretty sure Ice Spinner, they're about the same, I suppose. They're about the same. Maybe he wanted to scout for Quick Attack, which I got kind of smashed while I was trying to test a few Ogerpon teams. So yeah, Quick Attack is definitely something that you could scout for. Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. Kyogre, big man Kyogre on campus comes out. So now I'm thinking, this is the freest Power Whip I've ever seen. Free Power Whip. Until I realize he blows me up with Hydro. He blows me up with Scarf Water Spout. He blows me up. Like, there's just nothing else. I was actually thinking about running this team, because I do like Kyogre, but it's going to be kind of whatever. So, my guy comes in here. Miraidon, big man on campus, Miraidon comes in. So I'm saying, what could I be doing here? Until I realize, this is why he has Electivire. It's pretty obvious that I would bring this thing. So I'm looking at it, thinking, what do I need to do? Until I realize, no, there's no terror. There's no thinking. He's going to switch out here because why? This is what you bring him for, right? Until you realize the former alpha, amazing tag, but it's not going to stop you from this. Draco Meteor absolutely obliterates this Electivire, and he goes down. It absolutely cooks him alive. Poor Electivire probably died twice over with that Draco Meteor. So, unfortunate from you. It makes sense why you did it. But I think my mid-ground play was always to do that, because even if you don't do that, I get the damage here, and my booster speed, actually, Iron Shards outspeeds you and kills you anyways. So I was okay with doing that, but I just needed the chip. And the sociable Iron Shards here comes to me a Watery Death. It's shiny, doesn't really change that much. But unfortunately, yeah, it is speed as well. So I would have been faster if all went wrong, but as soon as he... Honestly, I don't even think he could have won, because I think I just killed no matter what. He does reveal the Terra Water. So this thing is a massive threat. Massive threat. But we have the second place. We're just going to go for whatever we move. Yep, Water Spout, there we go. We have the technology. We're going to absolutely cook this thing. Goodbye, Iron Shards. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. Because Miraidon, he would have to rely on a Mega Crit. Oh, Mega Crit for you right here. And let's see. He does go, yeah. I bring up my Miraidon back in. And it doesn't matter. My Dragon typing means I shouldn't really deal with anything. He goes for Water Spout. We do live. I think we do live beautifully. Water Spout is so strong. Terra Water Spout, amazing. But Electric Drift from Miraidon will finish off the game and just proving that we can't stay in the Ultra Ball tier a little bit longer. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, and Kyogre goes down, we have cemented ourselves firmly in the Ultra Ball League. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, the rental code and maybe the PokePaste, if I can find it, is going to be in the description if I can find it, and on screen in a couple of seconds. Once again, the favorite in this Pokemon, it's supposed to be CHIEN-PAO, but I fucking love that Pokemon. It ended up being a Miraidon, okay? It ended up being a Miraidon showcase. Miraidon is just too much of a power. It's just too much of a beast in this type of game mode. But yeah, Miraidon is Miraidon. What else are you going to really do? And yeah, we do get pretty far into the Ultra Ball tier of Regulation H. And we do quit. And if you guys want to see the team, it's going to be, again, on screen in a little bit. And it's definitely going to be in the description if I could find the paste. If not, I'll just see if I could paste the rental code. I found it on, I think it was actually on Reddit. It was a Miraidon team. But it had CHIEN-PAO on it, so I was like, hey, what the heck. I like this Pokemon anyways. CHIEN-PAO is one of my favorites of all time. So once again... wait for it. My team. This is the team. Once again, this was the team. It worked very well, in my opinion. It worked very well. Honestly, it fit my playstyle pretty, firmly. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please do leave a like and subscribe. If you guys have also enjoyed, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, more content on this will be coming soon. I can't do that intro every single time. I can't do that intro. That was also just a testing for me. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been Leafeon, and I'll see you next time. Broken to Cup to the Top might be a little bit suspended as we do some other stuff on Wi-Fi and on cartridge. So once again, this has been your boy Leafeon. Take care, and have a good day.